Welcome home, Raiders. Tonight, the latest from the alpha, including Timber Bears and the most controversial game item ever. Or something. As Convert to Raid presents the Battlenet News. Everybody, and welcome to another fabulous show from the Battlenet News broadcast bunker in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Today is March 20th, 2018, and it is now 9:13 in the PM Central Time. Happy spring, everybody. Thanks for joining us from around the Blizzard universe. My name is Pat Crane. I'm your host of this show, and we've got a full boat of players this week, and we will go around the horn thusly. From Lords of the Storm, a podcast about Heroes of the Storm, it's Gizmo!
Hello, Pat. Hello. I just want everyone to know I am officially the #1 fan of our show.
Hey!
It says so in Twitch right now.
Awesome.
I have a badge.
I love that about you. I really do.
Thank you.
But moving on from merely a setback. It's Sharku!
And I am officially the #0 fan.
Oh!
Which technically is higher than #1, I feel like, if we're going with the lowest number.
If
right?
you're in a binary system, sure, yeah.
Like, we're talking about golf scores here,
I get it,
right?
I get it.
0 is a number?
Yeah.
Is it?
0 is a number.
I feel like it's a numeric value, but it's not.
Right.
Maybe value, not number.
All right. We got to move on. Also from Lagging Balls and, of course, Battlenet Sports, it's Thyst. Hello, Thyst.
Hi, I can't do math.
So no numbers for you.
But I sure do like this show.
Hey, thanks, buddy.
You're the square root of -1 fan of this show.
What does that mean?
It's an
Are you making fun of me?
imaginary number.
Oh, it's like Threve?
Exactly. It's 11 more than Threve.
Exactly like Threve. All right.
That makes sense.
Well, welcome everybody. Welcome folks in Twitch chat. Welcome you guys at home or in the car or wherever you happen to be listening to us. And welcome to the three of you crazy people. It's going to be a fun show tonight. I have a feeling. Distinct feeling.
Does it hurt?
A little bit.
Pat, I think that's just a fart.
The night's going to be a good night?
It might be. Yep. But before we get into all of the stuff, there's actually quite a bit of stuff that we need to talk about, including a very interesting, some very interesting things that we are learning from the alpha, and also from the Q&A that happened last week. So we will get into that soon. But first, I want to talk to you guys about what you've been up to. And Gizmo, what's going on with you? What are you playing these days?
Oh man, unfortunately, the past few weeks I have not been playing much. Real life has been a thing that has been taking over a little bit, but I've expanded my horizon. Still playing Heroes of the Storm in the PTR. Currently testing some stuff out.
Yep.
But I've been playing some Vermintide 2 with some of the Zords. So kind of branching out away from Blizzard a little bit.
And you're still doing your D&D nights, I saw.
Yes, I do D&D once a week and then another one like once a month. And then I'm also picking back up Overwatch. So I played Moira for the first time.
Hey,
and I love her.
Oh,
I love
Moira
her.
is so great. So great. So great. I'm not sure where she stacks now with Brigitte in the mix. We'll talk about that, I guess. Thyst, how about you? What have you been doing? I missed talking to you yesterday because there was no Battlenet Sports this week.
Yes.
So
that was too bad but it's okay because there's no AWC on the weekend, which is really weird. After like 6 weekends of watching people PvP and then suddenly not, it's weird. So, I just went into WoW and PvP'd myself, and it was great.
Are you playing a lot of the new Battleground and all that kind of stuff?
It's in the mix with the random BGs, and I always hope to get it. So I don't know. It's really added. I don't know. It's breathed new life into the whole random BG group finder, and I'm always kind of hoping that I get Seething Shore, and then when I do, I really enjoy it, and it goes by super quick because that's just what it does, and then it goes away, and then I'm sad, and that's life, though, right? It's life.
I guess. Shark, how about you, buddy? What's been going on in your gaming world?
So I don't know if I talked about this last time I was on the show, but I actually picked up a healer. Playing my Resto Shaman.
I think you did. How's that going?
I think we mentioned that. It's going pretty good. There was a couple nights, a couple weeks ago, we were raiding. I was looking at the logs, and I was around 50% percentile for my item level, and I was feeling pretty good about it. And I'm like, guys, I'm doing much better because I was at like 7%.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, yeah, Shark, you are really, really very average at this.
Yeah, right. Of course.
I'm like, hey, this is my first time playing a healer, so I'm okay with that. And I'm trying to learn new things and figure it out. Apparently, I'm supposed to use my cooldowns more.
Yeah.
And there's like a buff that I had that I was supposed to use that I didn't even know I had. And so I'm bad, but I'm learning, and we've been having a lot of fun. Messing around with alts in the Asparagus Initiative. And we're actually getting a little bit more serious, but still kind of casual. And on that note, if anybody's interested in some casual raiding on Alliance side on Thursday and Sunday nights, shoot an in-game mail to our recruitment officer, Sokina.
How do you spell that?
Sokena, Sokina.
Right. As in make sure to soak in one of those.
Soak in a tub for, a good 20 minutes.
A green pool of goo over there.
So, right. Sokina. And that's on Airy Peak if you're cross server.
Yeah.
So check us out. We're interested, especially people just coming back to the game that are like, I'm really bad and I don't know if I want to raid. And I was just like, hey, let's have some fun. We're looking at heroic stuff. But let us know.
Well, it's kind of a weird time right now for a lot of people in WoW, because when the last raid of the expansion is done and you don't know what to do next, right? So
we could have been pushing mythics, but a lot of people just kind of turned out. They're like, we don't want to raid.
The issue with a team that normally does, a couple of mythics, maybe be at the end of the raid period, whatever that is. The ones that get a couple of mythics done are usually the ones that are the first ones to say, "Oh, are we trying mythics hardcore now?" I don't want to. I don't want to do that.
Right, and we were always like, we were going at the same speed, and I just think it was that having done that for a while, and I think people were just like, I'm done. This expansion's not fun for me anymore.
Well, it's a question of burnout and all that kind of stuff, and there's definite burnout possibilities, and if you're progressing into mythics after this long of already being in there, it's kind of
there's only so many wipes, I think, that people can take, and so now it's like, now if we go back and we're wiping on normal and heroic with alts, that's different because we know the fight so well that it's just, now we're just learning a new class, and that's a new kind of fun.
Sure,
but
and one of the things that I was actually thinking about doing, and this kind of is kind of goes off of your stuff that you're doing. I was actually thinking about starting up a not really a retro raid night, but basically a retro raid night where where it would just be the raids from Legion, whatever ones you want to do, just so that everybody can get their achievements on their alts, or whatever the case may be, and just kind of do that. It's not happening anytime soon because I'm kind of busy, but
I have zero interest in that.
Well, but going back to
people would have fun.
Going back to the Emerald Dreams, so especially if you're starting a new class, you need to do the Balance of Power quest, and there's a bunch of stuff with that. So
And it's some of the guys on AI said, "Oh, well, we can go back and do achievements," and I'm like, "Nah, I just don't. I just hate it. I don't know why. I just don't want to do that."
No, it's not about achievement. Yeah, it wouldn't be about achievements. It's about just kind of getting all the things done for alts that you need or
seeing
whatever.
it, yeah, so, seeing it.
Yeah,
and the artifact appearance, you have to go and farm.
Yep. Exactly.
Anyway,
exactly. So there's all that stuff too, as well. So I was trying to think. I did play Brigitte today. By the way,
yeah,
a little bit.
Brigitte.
Yep, and
Brigitte.
And I will talk about it in the section where we bring up Brigitte, but
baguette.
It's baguette. Baguette. No, but it's weird when you play the No Limits version on the day a new character comes out.
Oh yeah,
that's all I'm gonna say. The No Limits arcade version where you can play whatever you want. You can have multiples of whatever hero you want. And when there's a new hero out, everybody plays the new hero.
Yeah, I saw some of those, which you knew it was going to be that. And then some people made games where it's like, you know what, just forget it. It's 6v6 Brigitte. That's what we're going to do.
Yep.
Right.
So you have multiple games to pick from.
And it really does vary from person to, or from team to team, I guess. All right, we are going to do a thing where I do the top 10 list. Yes, it's the top 10 list, and my video froze. Oh, there we go. I
think it froze because I was so awesome.
Nope. I don't think that's a thing, but, whatever. We'll figure it out. All right, so last week we had the top 10. Last week we had the top 10 questions for the BFA Q&A that happened on Thursday. Before the actual Q&A happened. This week we have the top 10 revelations from the BFA Q&A. Now that it's done. See what I did there? I changed it around. All right.
What?
So let's get going with the top 10 revelations from the BFA Q&A from Ian Hazzikostas and Lore that was on Thursday. Lots of revelations. Here we go. Number 10. Professions will be relevant again.
Woo!
Yep. It's true. 2 agains. All right.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Right. Number 9. BFA will have traditional weapon drops like Warglaives. Wait, that should read BFA will drop only Warglaives. Only Warglaives for everybody.
Yep.
Warglaives for days, yo.
Mage Warglaives.
Mm-hmm.
Mage Warglaives.
P.S. That would be awesome.
Oh yeah, I'd do that.
Right?
Sweet. All right. Number 8. With new WoW communities, CTR Guild still screwed somehow. All right.
I don't get it.
If you're in the CTR Guild, you'd be laughing your butt off right now.
Yeah.
All right. Number 7. Revelations from BFA Q&A. Switching talents between AoE and single target doesn't feel compelling, yet totally working as intended. All right. Number 6. New Mythic Plus affixes being worked on by trained squirrels to avoid rampant data mining. They're sick of the data mining over there.
Squirrels can prevent that?
Yep.
Yeah.
They're just working on their own. They're trained. They're perfectly trained. It's true. All right. Number 5. Blizzard remains at the forefront of the athleisure movement. Did you see what Ian was wearing? He's just wearing tracksuit.
Was he wearing a really cool Sylvanas cosplay?
No.
It wasn't a whole suit.
Not this last time. I'm pretty sure it was the entire suit was just a tracksuit.
That's not true.
I'm pretty sure
He's wearing a gold chain and a white t-shirt.
Yep.
It's part of the mafia now.
Yep. Exactly.
Name like Hazzikostas. You never know.
That's him. All right.
What?
The number 4 revelation from the BFA Q&A. There is no way personal loot only will be argued against by anyone ever. Nope. No way personal loot only will ever be argued against.
Nope. That's about right.
Yes, it will.
Not going to happen. Number 3. Blizz looking to double down on class strengths. I can talk. Blizz looking to double down on class strengths and not emphasize weaknesses Warcraft logs giggled at that one. So they're like, they're like, you want to do what? That's good. That's a good one. All right.
Warcraft logs is a thing?
Yeah.
That laughs? It's an entity?
Yes. It collectively laughed.
Skynet.
Skynet.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly. Number 2. Let's see. Kultiran's allied race confirmed. Let the Wicker Druids reign over Azeroth. The Wicker Druid, man. If you saw the new bear forms this week from the Kultirans.
Oh, yeah.
It's
it was made out of like
That's
my grandma's
amazing.
wicker chair set.
So cool. So cool. All right. Now we're going to go to the, where's number 1? Where's number 1? There it is.
At the top.
All right. It's right at the top. You are right.
Thanks.
All right. So the number 1 revelation from the BFA Q&A. Mission tables will still be a thing. Sorry. Yeah. There we go.
You don't like mission tables? What?
Yeah, those are my favorite thing in the entire series.
That's like easy money, you guys. Free money.
Easy money. All right, let's move on to the news. It's time for the news, and as we were talking about, the BFA Q&A happened on Thursday with Ian Hazakostas and Lore. Lore was sporting a Warcraft shirt and a blazer. So also kind of athleisure. Not really. It's not really athleisure, but that's all right.
You guys stop trying to make that happen. That's not what happened.
I can't even say it.
No, because you keep thinking it.
Must be. So we learned a few things from this, other than, of course, the top 10 revelations from the Q&A.
That are really real.
Super real.
You don't think those other ones were real? And I just kind of wanted to go around and see what you guys thought of the different things that came out for the Q&A. And I'll start with Thyst. Thyst was,
Hi.
What were some of the things that you thought were pretty cool that came out of the Q&A?
I've got a lot of things that I thought were cool. Can I just list them off real quick?
Sure. Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm glad that with the new allied races being added, we're getting more slots. So you can just mess around with, more races.
So we don't have to delete tunes all the time? Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Or like go to a different realm and people are like, why are you in that realm? It's like, because I wanted to try this new race, but I don't have any room, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
So I think that's great. Allied races will continue to get more customization options if they're lacking compared to other races, which is fair. I'm glad. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I really like the part where they were talking about how to give feedback properly, like including data and screenshots will help get the point across. Rational feedback is better than giving like emotional feedback. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Usually the emotion is anger, or belligerence, catatonicness, misery.
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder there. I feel like trolling is a lot more fun than being rational.
Well, it might be more fun. It's just not as effective, right? So,
absolutely. That I can agree with.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm really glad that I knew that they were like really paying attention to PvP, but it seems like they're making a lot of really great sort of leaps and just trying to like, I don't know. It's almost like with this new expansion, they're taking like this dusty old PvP box off the shelf, dusting it off, elbow grease, spit shine. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Making it nice.
And it sounds like they're changing the talents around quite a bit and trying to make it accessible for more people. And so, it does sound like they're moving in the right direction on that. I thought that for Legion, I thought they really stepped up with a bunch of new features for folks.
Oh yeah.
So it's pretty cool. It's just kind of nice that they're building on that instead of trying something new. So exactly.
Not like they're just like coasting on. It's like, it's okay. It's good.
Right.
We'll just coast on it. They're just, it's like the more we get into WoW and like the older we get and the older WoW gets, it's like, it really does seem like they're revisiting older things instead of like progressing too far forward. they're revisiting things and making like the old things that we love even better. And I appreciate that, you know? So that's my take on it anyway.
Right on. Any of you other monkeys want to chime in on some stuff that you liked from the Q&A?
As a raid leader, I love the idea that they're going to get rid of Master Loot and only do personal loot. Because there is one reason and one reason only that I would use Master Loot in my raid. And it's because I can share tier loot. But since tier loot's not going to be a thing, it doesn't matter.
Right.
Makes sense.
Right.
It doesn't matter. Personal loot is so much better.
Although
there's a higher chance of getting it. And we can still share it between people in our group as long as someone else can wear that piece of gear.
Yeah.
Right. So unless we don't really know what the Azerite system is still, right? The Azerite loot. If that is class specific, then we still have the same problem. And that's going to be stupid.
Right.
So please don't do that, Blizzard. Right. Please don't do that to me. Because we need to share we need to share the loot. That's the thing about one of the things that I like about raiding now as opposed to early on in the game is that most of my raiders, and I just raid with a bunch of cool guys, but we want to share loot. Like, you need this better than me. It's a bigger upgrade for you. Even though it dropped for me, you need it. And they give it, and a raid leader. It's up to them. You have a choice. We actually even have an add-on. I don't know what it's called, but you can whisper one of the guys in our group and our quote-unquote loot master, whisper him, say trade, and then the name, and then link the item that you want to trade, and it automatically rolls for it. It says It does a raid warning for you. You don't have to waste time or anything. It's so great. So I love it. I think it's great. We have already started using personal loot all the time in the raid now. Just because we don't really care about tiers much anymore. And if they got rid of tier this expansion, I would have never used Master Looter ever. And it's been a huge hassle in the guild because I've got to get people to join a guild, and because they took away the option to be able to use it, you have to be an 80% guild group. Well, we have 10 guilds that compromise our guild, so you have to move everybody around to be on the team to do it. And it's just pulling hair out. It's terrible.
I know Hansi in the chat room just asked, is it intended to even the playing field for World First Race? And not really, because the reason that they took it out is because they took out tier loot. I think that was the only real reason to do that, just to make sure that there was a way to distribute that tier loot fairly evenly to people, and also maybe for loot masters to be able to kind of feed players certain things. But if you can trade already, that might make it okay. I don't know what it does for split runs.
You should be able to trade any loot that is not a personal upgrade to you, the same way that the personal loot system works now, which makes sense.
But if you are if you are trying to feed other players loot for whatever reason, maybe they're a main and you're running split runs because you are on a mythic team, then that will slow those guys down a little bit.
It does slow down the mythic race, and I think that's also part of the decision. So I can understand how high-end raiders would not like that. But
they're a very small percentage of raiders.
Incredibly, 1% of the top 1%.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree. It just affects them though, because even people that are pushing mythics, whenever you're distributing gear, gear is going to certain people for a certain reason, whether they're top DPS or whatnot. If you're getting a piece of gear now from the personal loot system, that is an upgrade for you, but you want your top DPS getting gear and stuff, you can't trade that to them. You're not able to select kind of who to power up first.
Right.
It's all going to be based off chance now.
How do you choose who your top DPS is, though?
Well, if you're on a team,
based on
you're raiding together
first?
for a while, you'd know.
Yeah, if you're
I get what you're saying.
Group. If you're in a small group, you'd know.
Yeah, so I don't think it's just going to affect the world race. I do think it's going to affect pretty much any mythic rating team, and even teams that are taking things seriously that aren't pushing mythic. But
so the rest of the top 1%,
if they do it correctly, I mean, if the trades and stuff work, I would like to see them possibly take the trade thing out if it's not an upgrade. But then that would feel bad. Like, oh, I got this piece. Oh, hey, give that to someone. That would feel bad too.
Yeah, and that's why I think, I think this is a decision, and I just really like it because it makes the game feel more like it's personal loot. You won this thing. You earned this. And you can do with it whatever you want.
You reached into that corpse of the giant monster that you just slayed. I don't know what it is. You just put your fist into his gut and pulled out some pants. You wear those damn pants. You don't give those away.
And everybody gets, re-rolls, right? We're still going to have coins, right. I'm assuming. So there are still ways. It's taking what feels bad to people is it's taking the control, that little control out of the raid leader's hands, right? Well, I want the gear to go to this. I want the gear to that. But honestly, I think it's going to be a better thing overall because raid leaders, loot masters, loot councils no longer have to make those decisions. And any loot drama, and I know that, lots of raid teams don't have that, but there are a lot of raid teams that do. Even AI would have a little bit of loot drama here and there, or we would just not even realize that someone hasn't gotten loot for 3 weeks. We've been trying to keep track, and then we just didn't. And then it's like, hey, I haven't been given loot for 3 weeks. Oh my God, that's awful.
Dude, how big is your group?
It used to be like we've gone at sometimes we're like we had 8 the other night just randomly because everybody was out. We've been up to over 30 before we've had to cut people out of yeah. So it's just mix and match up and down. But
wow.
The people that have been through that group too, there's been like I think like 300-400 at this point.
As far as the actual Asparagus Initiative, no, we're over 100 strong as far as because once you're a spare guy, you're always a spare guy.
Right.
Technically,
well, if you take
Gizmo, Pat, both you guys are on
take Siege of Orgrimmar, we went through a lot of people during Siege of Orgrimmar.
Oh my God, that is true. That is true. But yeah, so long story short, I think overall for the majority of the community, this is going to be a much better system to use. It takes a lot of the stress off the raid leaders and the leadership team. It players can be mad at the game and not mad at their leadership. You know what I mean? And I think that's a great choice for the life of the game. I understand how it seems like it might affect. Well, obviously, it's going to affect everybody because it's changing the way that loot is distributed. But I think they're good changes. I think they're actually really good changes. So that's my opinion.
And even if they're not, these are the changes that they have to make to find out.
Right. You got to try. And I think it's good that they try. Maybe they go back.
Yeah. Well, and that's an easy one to go back on.
Yeah.
From my perspective. So that's an easy one to say, you know what? That didn't work. We tried it, didn't work. So now we're going to go.
And that's what Blizzard does.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, we made a mistake. Cool, we'll fix it.
Because in all honesty, they're random drops anyway, and you just get to decide who gets the random drop.
Right.
Now you're just taking that step out.
That's the important step for a lot of teams, though.
I don't. If you are not killing a boss because one person doesn't have the piece of gear that you want, that's problematic. You know what I mean? I understand that it gets to that point of min-maxing and this and that and the other, but I don't know if I agree with raid leaders. Well, we didn't kill that boss because the right guy didn't have the right piece of loot. Now, when you're talking about legendaries that give you like a 10%,
but there's not going to be any legendaries
damage, right? That's a different story. But when you're talking about one specific piece of loot that we could have given to this guy, but instead we've got to give it to the guy who's doing,
sure. Well,
100 less DPS than he is. That's not going to stop you from killing. That shouldn't stop you from killing the boss.
Although,
and if it does,
hey, Shark, Dave needs all the help he can get.
Dave does, and that's what I'm saying.
We need to get him the gear because he needs to. It's not that we want everybody to be powerful and awesome and whatever. We need Dave to be more powerful than everybody else because he's. He's a good person. We like him, but he's not a very strong player.
He's not going to hold his own unless he's, in all mythics.
Elite.
Who's Dave?
I'm fine with them trying this. I hope they don't move to where they take Master out completely because personal gear is an option. If teams want to do that, that's fine. I just don't think you should be taking an option away from teams that want to use that system. That's my thing.
Sure.
I can understand that.
Okay. Well, moving on away from that a little bit, I do want to touch on this, and that is professions. Now, I am not a professions guy. I I don't think I've ever really been a professions guy. Sure, I've used them, especially like I think Cataclysm was where I was like, oh my God, I'm making all these potions for everybody. I can't believe this. This is so great. And that was probably the last time that I did that.
This is so much fun.
So the cool thing about professions, and I just want to say this, and Blizzard, in my book, this is totally right. They are changing the way professions are going to be done. You're going to do a base profession, whatever. And then once you're in the expansion, you're going to learn all of the expansion recipes and nothing else. You're not going to learn the other expansion recipes unless you go back there and learn them specifically for whatever reason you want to. So for that, I say...
So
Which is good,
let me see if I understand this.
Yeah.
You're telling me if I get a new tune, I get up to this expansion and I pick up my professions.
Right. You don't.
I'm
have
not
to,
going
you,
to.
you
I'm
don't
not going to have to craft cloth so that I can craft shirts so that I can craft other things to level it up. I can level up just by crafting.
I think what it is. So you won't need thick hide, and then you won't need like all the stuff from
fur.
Arctic fur. You won't need that because you're not going to make anything with Arctic fur. You're just going to make stuff with the new mats from the new expansion to learn all of those recipes. That's it.
I like that.
And then everything else you can go back and learn it as you want to, and that's cool. Now all they need to do is just make sure to give everybody the different ways to get mats. So everybody gets mining and skinning and what's the other one? Oh, herbing. If everybody could get those three things, then I'd be fine. And so would you, Thyst, because you'd be able to collect stuff and then make it. Because you only have the one tune.
That is true. But I rely on the kindness of my raid team to supply me with things.
I rely on gold. Just gold.
Right. Straight up gold, because you making that money.
Right.
Out on the corners of Dalaran every night.
Yep.
We make people feel bad when they don't bring their own flask and food.
Really?
Yeah, we shamed them.
Wow.
Sounds
Sign
healthy.
me up for
Shame.
that
But
spare guys.
they do personal loot, so it makes it all better.
Yeah.
That's the trade-off, apparently.
Exactly.
But so they're jerks at the beginning and after a boss kill. That's awesome.
Sounds like fun.
Does anybody have any tier gear they can trade? No, because there are no other shamans in this raid.
Well, and so the other thing that the other reason that I bring this up is because they also talk about how alt-friendly BFA will be in comparison to other expansions. And they said, Ian said that BFA was supposed to be similar to Legion as far as alt-friendliness. And at the beginning of this expansion, it was not. It was not very alt-friendly.
It was the opposite of alt-friendly. It was alt-unfriendly. It was alt.
Not that this
assault.
would know this. You wouldn't know this at all.
So maybe I'll have an alt in the next expansion. Who knows? Maybe I'll try that.
But Ian did say that something along the lines of, if you're making more alts just to farm stuff, that doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
If you're making alts to experience content in a different way or new content that you can't experience on another tune, that's where they want it to be. So I think they need to make all those secondary professions just baked in.
Like account wide.
I think they need to, and just
like to summarize, like, doesn't it seem like this expansion is just going to be like a huge exercise in streamlining things? Like, isn't that exciting? They're just like, they're going to take all of these quality of life things in like so many facets of the game and just clean them up, just make them easier for people to do and to live with. And I mean, I couldn't be happier, like it's not so much like we're adding this and this and this is going to be in the game and this new thing and this. No, it's going to be like all this stuff that you're totally familiar with and that you put all this effort into. We're just going to make this easier for you. Like this expansion is like a huge quality of life upgrade. And I'm so stoked on that. Like, I really appreciate that.
Yeah, because
you
what
can
that
do
does,
maps from your phone and
Yeah.
More match for
That was sarcastic, but I'm good.
No, it's I'm done. No, that's funny. But what it does, and I agree with this, it opens them up because when you have all these different, micromanagey things that you have to do, and you have to level all the professions in a specific way, and it does make the game feel really big, and that can be good, right? There's a lot of stuff to do in the game.
Mm-hmm.
But what this does by streamlining all of these things and baking a lot of this stuff into what you're doing, it now allows room that has to be filled with something new. You know what I mean? So as long as they take advantage to fill that something new, I think this is going to be a very, very exciting expansion. However, my prediction is a year from now, there's going to be something with all of these like all of this stuff that we're talking about right now. We're really excited about it. It's going to sound great. There's going to be something that's going to be terrible, and we're going to hate it, like legendaries. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's going to be. It's probably. It's not going to be personal loot. It's the same loot. It's completely random. It's completely RNG.
I don't know, man. I don't hate things. Like I like everything. Everything's just so great and wow. And it's just going to get better.
Not legendaries. And they get rid of legendaries. So thumbs up. Way to go.
Sure. Yeah.
Sure.
That's the way it looks anyway.
Unless Azurite armor becomes legendaries, and then I'm unsubbing.
Well, it's right. Exactly.
Yeah, right.
Who knows what Azurite armor is actually going to be all about? We'll see what.
I love that. This called my bluff on that. Yeah, right.
Yeah, I did. What are you going to do besides WoW? Exactly.
I think Blizzard could, imprison my family for years in a dungeon somewhere, and I'd be like, okay, I'm fine with that. You should let them out, but I'm still going to play your video game.
Yeah.
Right. Of course.
Thanks, Blizz. That's pretty much it, though. It's like, take my blood, take my firstborn.
Exactly.
It's all good, Blizz.
I guess, this is what happens when I love something, so let's do it.
Exactly.
Okay. All right.
This turned into something so beautiful right now.
No, I don't know if I came away with it. It sounded a little dark to me. It sounded a little weird. It sounded a little.
That's what happens when you love something, Cat.
Beautiful like Edward Scissorhands is beautiful.
Yeah.
Does it always happen when you love something like that? I mean, does it always happen that way? Because I don't know.
Did I just teleport into my therapist's office? What's happening?
All right, let's continue. So a couple of other things to note from the Q&A were that Dark Iron Dwarves, Kultiran Humans, those guys were kind of announced, just like right there. Just Ian just kind of boom, just dropped that right into
Dark Iron Dwarves were announced quite a long time ago.
Not Kultirans, the big humans.
No, yeah, those guys are new.
And there's more with that. But Maghar Orcs and Zandalari Trolls, those are all now confirmed as allied races that will be coming at some point. We don't know exactly when. It sounds like Zandalari Trolls and Kultiran Humans are going to be awarded through a quest chain, essentially in the beginning of Battle for Azeroth. And I was actually stumbling on the alpha this week and saw the beginning of the quest chain, and it was basically for the Kultiran, and it was, these guys will never join the alliance. They hate us so much, so you have to build up rep with them.
Grind.
Yep.
It's going to be a rep grind.
I will say I'm super excited about the Kultiran Humans because I think not last week but the week before I was talking about how Ally Alliance are getting kind of shafted on the ally races. I feel like the Zandalari Trolls like have all the cool druid forms. Well, we've seen the bear druid form full of Kultirans, which is awesome.
Yeah, Kultiran druid forms are way cooler than High Mountain druid forms, just saying.
The wicker bear form is so amazing.
It's incredible. And I've been seeing models of skinny humans, fat humans. Like if they add that stuff into character customization as well.
Let's not size we're not size shaming on this show.
No.
Just letting you know.
They're giving you choices. You get choices.
No, it's cool. It's great. It's great.
Like I want because all of the humans right now are like get the biggest shoulders in the world, so the male humans and stuff, and mages look a little weird like that. Like I think of a mage like a little bit skinnier, doesn't do much physical activity. So if I'm gonna play a mage, like that's what I want. Maybe even a hunter, like ranger. And then if I want a warrior, like then I don't want a medium human. I want a big bulky one.
Sure.
So I I don't know if that's going to be a thing.
I want a big, bulky,
it.
like one of the big, fat, like stomach can't fit in his shirt mages. You know what I mean? That's why I play my panda mage. I love him. He just walks around and is like,
By the
blah,
way,
blah, blah. Here's some fire.
I thought about this the other day. The Pandaren were the first allied race, really. That we had. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, kind of. But yeah.
Kind of cool.
I'm really looking forward to just like killing all of them equally on the battleground. You know, I don't care. I don't care how big or small they are.
I'm just going to kill them. I'm just going to kill them until they're dead, until I stomp on their little Weasley hearts.
Exactly. It's going to feel good.
So, now, Gizmo, you were talking about the Cultiran Druid forms, which I thought were amazing. And we kind of hinted to this last week. We saw some quests on the alpha that kind of related to this, where Cultirans were these different forms. And so it's kind of cool to know that it's legit happening. But they're just humans. How do you feel about druids, or humans essentially being druids, I guess? Do you care about the lore like that? Like some people are like, oh my God, you broke the game. No way.
At this point, I can understand some things. For the most part, like me personally, I do not care. I'm all about character customization, you know, play what you want.
Yep.
I can get, I can even get where like the fact of Alliance playing shamans is in Horde playing paladins is kind of,
that is kind of
weird still, but I'm okay with it because if I want to play shaman, I don't want to be forced to, you know, play horde like it used to be.
Right.
Plus, you know, you can, the lore is ever evolving, you know, times change.
Right.
People can practice what they want to practice.
Times change, and the people over on the Alliance said, I want a druid. Damn it. Let's get a new druid. And then they said, fine. I think they were listening to this show.
Well, and that's, I think, I completely agree. And I don't know if you guys know this, but I host a lore podcast called Merely a Setback.
Oh,
what?
Yes.
But people, Gizmo hit it right on the head when he said the lore is constantly changing. The lore is constantly changing, and it's not a retcon. It's just new story. This is new stuff happening.
And it's also a retcon. It's also a retcon.
It's not, though.
It doubles as a retcon. Go ahead.
It's not going back. There has never in the lore of Warcraft has there ever been stated, and humans shall never gain the druidic powers of...
No. Trolls were added as druids. That was a retcon right there.
No. Why?
It makes total sense.
It makes sense that they have a druidic history. That they're able to do that. It makes total sense.
You know what, guys? It's 2018. Anybody can be whatever they want.
Right. Well, and as far as trolls go, you know, night elves are just trolls that got stoned off of moon powers, right?
Basically.
Wow.
That's what they are. They were trolls. The night elves were trolls.
Moon powers now legal in Warcraft.
They found the moon well. They found the moon well, and they all got high off the moon well, and that transformed them. Oh, I just threw everything around in my room, but that transformed them into the night elves. So night elves are druids. Why can't trolls be druids? They're
wait. I'm not saying they can't be. I'm just saying
now.
I'm just saying
what?
You know, they kind of retconned.
No.
I'm just saying they kind of.
Night elves are not druids.
Guys,
or
keep
trolls.
Arguing.
Night elves evolved from trolls.
Are you? Wow.
100%.
I feel like you're messing with me.
I'm not messing with you. Look it up. It's in Chronicle 1.
Somebody just crit.
They were called cave trolls or dark trolls or something like that because they lived in caves and only came out at night.
All right.
That's what I do.
Today I learned.
I'm laughing too much. All right. You guys crack me up. So what else did we find out about the I don't know if we learned anything else about from the Q&A.
We've learned absolutely nothing, Pat.
Communities.
Okay, so communities. We don't know what Warcraft communities are yet. Exactly. There's supposed to be an easier way for teams to communicate and to have them in chat forever or whatever. It's basically just like groups.
I'm thinking it's going to be a lot like the Diablo clans and communities. So the guilds,
it's groups without a guild. So
yeah. So it's you can just like we could create a CTR community. Anyone can join that community, and it just has another chat and easier way to find groups and stuff.
I'm down with that.
We have so much chat already. So much chat over on the CTR Guild. It's great. I love it. Let's see. Let's maybe switch over to. Let's see. Do we have to go over to BFA latest build? Probably not. Oh, I did want to mention this from the BFA, from the alpha, the latest build. I hit it at the top of the show. This is the only reason that I'm bringing it up. The most controversial item ever in game. You know what it is?
What?
Pineapple
Don't
pizza.
say it, Pat.
It's pineapple pizza. Pineapple pizza was added to the alpha, and people are in an uproar.
You know, Canadians invented
By
that.
people, I mean like two people.
I have a pizza.
I'll have a pineapple pizza.
Pineapple pizza.
Pineapple pizza.
Have a pan. I have a
I really like pineapple pizza.
Shark, are you a pineapple fan? Pineapple pizza?
I love pineapple.
On pizza?
If it's delicious, eat it.
Good.
If it's delicious, eat it, son.
If you
I'm
could
also a fan.
lower your standards, you could eat anything you wanted.
There
That's true.
are bad pineapple pizza out there. I will tell you.
Sure.
I'm
There's
sure.
also
Oh,
good.
sure.
Sure.
You
Like-
can't. You gotta be. You know,
Yeah, you
The
gotta
pineapple's got to be juicy still. Can't
Wow.
be dried out.
juicy.
So
yeah.
juicy.
I will say that.
There's got to be juice everywhere.
Wow. Also on the alpha, and we'll see exactly how this whole thing pans out, but we are actually starting to see the new island expeditions, which are the 3-person go around the island and collect Azurite. And if you're playing, you could play PvP or PvE. And apparently those creatures are a little bit smarter, a little bit more PvP oriented.
Weren't we
This is
supposed
so
to get
bad.
that in 735, or was I just
No, that's for BFA.
drunk at BlizzCon?
It's,
Yes, you were drunk at BlizzCon.
It's for
Okay.
It's for BIFA. Yes, and you were drunk. at
Oh, it
BlizzCon.
was the new
BG, yeah.
BG that we were
Yeah.
gonna get.
Yep.
That's
And we
what
got
you
it. We got
which
it.
we have now.
Yeah, it's in. Yeah, I've played it. It's fun.
Awesome. And then we also have news on the MDI. More news on the MDI.
Ooh, sorry.
And we're, of course, this is the Mythic Dungeon Invitational. It was last year as well, where we have teams competing against other teams in PvE fashion. And Thyst,
Hey.
I know that you're a big fan, so I want to throw this to you. What do we have? We have time trials, right?
We have time trials.
What's
and we
going on?
didn't-
So this is only for those people that have qualified into time trials.
Yes.
We won't see this necessarily.
No.
But I think that it's kind of interesting to know what these teams are going through to get to the championship. So what is the next step? What are the time trials? What do they have to do?
Okay, so next week on the 27th, the time trials start, and you have to tackle 3 dungeons across different difficulties. So the first dungeon will be Mob Souls plus 20 with Bursting, Quaking, and Fortified.
Yay!
Yay! Okay,
My
dungeon 2,
favorite.
Upper Kara,
Mhm.
classic.
Mhm.
22 plus 22 with Raging, Explosive, and Tyrannical. And then dungeon number 3, Nell's Lair, plus 24 with Sanguine, Grievous, and Fortified.
Ugh.
So they're going to run through those. They're going to get their time scores.
Yep.
And then they
go
have
through
to
fast.
submit them.
Yep.
Yeah, just got to go fast like Sonic.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a completely different game,
It is.
if you didn't know.
It is.
But all 3 times will be added together, and the top 8 scores for each region will move on to the regional bracket stage. So, like this is it. Like this is like.
And then the group stage starts in April, right? So that's April through May. So that'll be cool.
It's all happening.
And it's kind of interesting to see what these guys have to go through for the time trials now. And we'll move on, and then we'll see those group stages once those hit in April. And of course, the whole regular team is coming back for that and all that kind of stuff. So we'll be able to see Trekkie and Sloot and all the guys.
All those guys. But I think this is great. Like this is what the MDI is, really. You know,
Sure.
it's partly a time trial, and they're going to need to get used to this anyway. And this sounds completely ridiculously difficult, and I wish that we could watch these, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Interesting
We
note, by the way.
Yeah.
All of the gear in Mythic Plus Dungeons, personal loot.
Yep.
Here's another thing.
No.
Here's another thing. They're going to be on their tournament realm. It won't matter. They'll have all the loot.
No, I
Doesn't
know.
matter.
I know.
So there. All right. Quickly, we need to move to some Hearthstone.
Well met.
Yes. Now, I just kind of want to mention this. That Joss, we all know Jocelyn Moffett from Battlenet Sports and other fine shows like The Angry Chicken and Gamers
Azeroth.
In. Yeah, for Azeroth. Yeah, all that type of stuff. She was at DreamHack Toronto last weekend, and she actually competed in the HCT and played against the guy. Her first game was against the guy that won the tournament.
Oh my gosh.
How intimidating would that be?
So she didn't win. She didn't win that first game.
She didn't win the first game at all. But she did do a review of the DreamHack Toronto, and that should be coming out soon. And I think it'll be on the Hearthstone pages on either on the website or on the whatchamacallit, the launcher. So
Cool.
yeah. It's pretty cool. So check it out when it comes out. And then we have Enrage keyword change. Enrage will be changed to while damaged. I don't know why. Why would they change something like that? Just to make it clear?
Because they're
Make it
going
easier to understand.
that, and also they might make Enrage be a different keyword.
Yeah.
No, of course. They've got a bunch of new stuff coming up, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I think, maybe. But also it could be just wild damage, and that makes it so because people that are new to the game might not understand what enraged.
Sure.
Because it's been a kind of an old keyword that we don't really, I don't know.
Yeah, I get it. All
I
right.
get enraged.
All right. Well,
I enraged through every game of Hearthstone that I played.
well, let's move on to a little bit of Overwatch.
Now we're cooking with gas.
Yes, now we're cooking with Brigitte, because apparently if you play the No Limits version in the arcade, all you'll get is Brigitte all the time, and that is painful.
It is.
However, Brigitte is still fun. I don't know how much have you played her on live yet?
I haven't played her on live, but I played her a lot on the PTR, and I've been practicing a lot with her versus AI. She's just like, I didn't realize that you could just like hold your mouse button down and she would just flail constantly.
Oh, yeah.
So that's awesome. It's like with Diva, I love that you can just keep shooting always because she never runs out of ammo in her mech. So when you're looking around, looking right or left, you can keep shooting, like you don't ever have to stop shooting. I mean, unless you're trying to go fast, but yeah, she can just flail, no problem, all over the place. And I think that makes like a huge difference because she's not super ranged, but the range that she does have is like supremely covered. Like it's going to take people a while to figure out how to, once people get good with her, of course, it's going to take people a while to figure out how best to counter her. And like, I think her best counters are going to be ranged or Junkrat, from a higher perspective. But she's got so much going for her, like her AoE heals and her stun and her shield. She's like a McCree. She's like a Lucio. She's like Reinhardt, obviously. She's kind of like Zenyatta. She's kind of like Torbjorn because they're related. Like she's such this amazing hybrid, and I'm intimidated by that. Like, sure. I don't know if I'm ever gonna get good at her, but I really want to. And I don't know. She's just a really exciting character, and I think people are already completely in love with her. And I can't wait to see the new metas that pop up around her. And I don't know. She's just gonna completely break the old meta.
And I would say that she is like a mini Reinhardt. I mean, that's kind of how she's built, with some different abilities and stuff like that, especially with throwing out armor onto people and stuff like that. So that, I mean, it's very cool. So I'm glad that she's out, and I look forward to figuring out exactly how she fits into the world.
Yeah. And I have a tip if people are interested in playing her with quick play.
Ooh, all right.
If you get her first,
yeah,
tell your team, hey, I mean, if you want to, but see when a new hero pops up, people only want to play her, and they only want to play her in quick play because that's, the best way to learn a hero, arguably. And so if they don't get her right away, they're going to leave, and then you're going to be in queue again. So if you get her, just say, hey guys, I'm going to play this character until I die. Then someone else can take a turn. That's not the best way, but like in this next week, maybe 2 weeks, I've found that that's like the easiest way to just keep things going. And more often than not, you'll find people saying like, hey, that's a really good idea. Can I just try her after you? And then when I die, you can try, and it also sort of encourages the group to like keep switching up the comp as well, which is always a good idea. So I don't know, just try that. It works for me. Like it worked for me with Moira a lot. So I don't know, it's just a tip.
Okay.
Good luck.
Or you could do 6v6 Brigitte.
Or that.
In No
That'll
Limits.
teach you how to learn.
In No Limits, that really kind of blows. And it was very, very, it was funny because I only played one game of No Limits and I had to move on. It's just like, I'm done.
See, you just get in comms with your team and you single out one person to just chain stun until they're dead.
Sure, that works.
And you move on.
All right. Speaking of moving on, let's move on to Heroes of the Storm.
Turned up to 11.
That's right. Now, Gizmo, we have a new hero. We have a new hero.
We do.
Who is
Finally, this is the longest drought between heroes that we have had since Alpha. So coming along with the StarCraft anniversary, Phoenix is entering the Phoenix after he was defeated, badly broken in battle and placed into a Dragoon. So it's his Dragoon form, kind of a little four-legged laser shooting spider thing.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. He's an assassin. He is awesome. I'm in love with him.
All right.
I played him on PTR. He has great build diversity. He feels really good. He's going to be kind of an auto attack based hero.
Okay.
And so stutter stepping, things like that, I think he'll have a good spot in the game. But along with the StarCraft anniversary, if you log in right now, you'll get some portraits from StarCraft. You'll get a Protoss, Terran, and Zerg portrait. There are some new skins, emotes, other portraits you can get, and a Zergling mount, which is adorable and terrifying at the same time. I don't really know how I feel about it.
That's what Zerglings are. Adorable and terrifying. Mm-hmm.
But and there's a bunch of bundles you can get along with those. But there is also in the PTR with Phoenix right now some hero changes. The one notable one here is that Varian, his level 10 heroic talents are moving to level 4. So now at level 4, you'll have your choice between Taunt, Colossus, Smash, and Twin Blades. There have been health nerfs, basic attack damage nerfs, and stuff like that to kind of balance all of this out. But it's going to be really interesting to see how that affects him once he hits live. So we'll be talking about that quite a bit probably on Lords of the Storm this week.
That's huge.
It is. It's very, very interesting.
I'm interested.
Mm-hmm.
You know what else is interesting? That I saw that IGN revised its review of HOTS.
They killed the meme. The meme's dead.
Right.
6.5 out of 10 is no more.
Right.
They went back in and reviewed it, and it has been moved up to an 8 out of 10.
Hey,
which
congratulations to those guys.
Yeah.
So there you go. 8 out of 10 now.
8 out of 10. The meme will always live on in our hearts, but we'll take the good review. We'll take the good review.
Right on. By the way, just to talk a little HGC action, did they ban somebody in HGC?
Yeah.
Who was it?
I don't know who it was, but they definitely did ban somebody.
What's with all the banning lately?
I don't know.
This is news to me, and I feel bad about it because I've been giving Thyst crap.
Right. There was a player.
But she doesn't know either, so she can't give me crap.
Just talk a little bit of sports here, just real quick. But because we didn't have the Battlenet Sports this week, and you can check out all the scores and all the awesome action of all
Okay,
of
I got
Battlenet
it.
Sports. But let's talk about. I want to talk about XQC, and I want to talk about this guy from HOTS. Who was it?
It's Erho, ERHO.
Oh, Urho.
Aaron
really?
Erho
Yeah.
Caps being
Yeah.
fined $1,500 and suspended for the rest of the year.
Whoa!
But why?
For the rest of the year. That's
He was
crazy.
found to have violated the following HGC rules: conduct
No.
of players, coaches, and managers,
Uh-huh.
anti-harassment.
Oh no.
Okay, so it doesn't say what
he broke
did,
the rules.
but he broke them rules
He-
big time.
He broke harassment rules, which I think we're finding. I think we're finding out that that those rules are kind of important.
Do you think maybe that they're making these rules a little bit more strict, and maybe because Overwatch League is so publicized and all of these like problem child players in OWL, maybe they're having to crack down on everybody else to make it fair?
Maybe.
You know, or maybe the rules are getting tighter, so like people in the HGC who could like maybe make the same jokes or use the same memes or memes similar to the memes that aren't allowed in OWL anymore, maybe that's all becoming like one thing.
Well, okay, so there's a couple of things at play, I think, and Overwatch League definitely does make them a little bit more Blizzard as just a company more visible in esports, right? So Overwatch League definitely makes them more visible, and I think they're finding that the games aren't necessarily being handled the same way. And so this is a way to kind of try to help combat that a little bit. Probably, maybe. I don't know. Also, they're putting more money into esports in general. They brought in 3 other bigwig guys into Overwatch League, right?
Yep.
And so they are putting a lot more money into esports just in general. And I think that they know that this is what's going to move the needle going forward. And that while HOTS may not be up to the same level as Overwatch League was right out of the gate, it's still very viable and still a good thing to watch. And so why not make sure that they have the same rules?
Yeah, it's got to be the same for everybody, or else the OWL players are gonna be like, well, the HGC guys didn't get in trouble for doing that. Like they're it's got to be fair.
Yeah, and I'm reading up on it right now, and it's pretty bad. So it's
great. Well,
I can understand.
Is this the first person that's been banned from the HGC? Because if it is, like, it's got to be an XQC situation in which they make an example out of that person. Like they have to put the fear of thrall in these people.
Yeah, I believe it is the first ban, and as well as the first fine.
Wow.
Right. The fine is actually kind of interesting because the guys over in HGC aren't making a steady income, are they? I mean, it's
no. They make if
whatever they win.
If their team, if their team is in both phases, if it's an even split, just the players would make 20,000 each, and that's assuming the orgs don't take a piece of that, which they probably would.
Probably do. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So they definitely don't make.
So he was doing some bad stuff.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what I think. I honestly, I applaud Blizzard for all of this stuff. I agree with everything you guys are saying, and I hope that they are so successful with this type of punishment that it seeps in through the rest of the professional sports world, because it's an epidemic of rewarding bad behavior or giving slaps on the wrists. And a lot of time it depends on whether or not you like the particular player or not. And I am hoping, so far it seems to me like Blizzard is fair-handedly just laying the ban hammer down. If you break the rules, we are going to make you unemployable. And I think it's an interesting thing, especially when you're talking about pro gamers. They like to think, there's a little bit of arrogance going on there. I don't know if you guys have ever talked to a pro gamer before or seen their streams or anything. A little bit of arrogance, and some of it's good, some of it's okay. I'm an actor. I understand ego, right? Sure. And that can be good. But Blizzard is making it very clear we can make you unemployable.
Sure. Well, and you're also talking.
If you want to play our game professionally, we can make it to where you cannot do that. We are in control, and we make the rules. And I think that's great. I think every professional sports league should take a note.
And you're also talking about, for the most part, and obviously this doesn't include every player, but for the most part, you're dealing with teenage and young 20-year-old men, right?
Yeah.
And that is a very difficult group, especially if they get a little bit of, success behind them. They might start getting a little bit more, the ego starts to appear, and they start to do weird stuff because they think they can get away with it, and then they get slapped down.
Right.
And hopefully
your brain's still forming into your early 20s. You know what I mean? Like, you're still figuring out who you are as a person.
I remember
physically
getting slapped down like that a couple of times when I was like 22, 23.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Who's slapping you when you were 20?
Every other week.
All the ladies. But it was in the face, though.
Yeah. Probably right.
Yeah, I don't think it's as much as trying to make people unemployable. I think there's still going to be chances for these players to come back, but I do think they're being very strict on it because this is new, because these are young kids. They need to set the standard early that this type of stuff can't be tolerated like this moving forward. Kids that are watching the Overwatch League now and seeing that this is a thing and kind of, hoping and having aspirations of becoming a professional gamer are going to see that this stuff doesn't fly. And, over time, hopefully this stuff will get better and it'll be more professional scene because, not only that stuff, this is in its infancy. If that continues to have problems like this, that's going to be a huge turnoff for investors.
Yep.
Right.
Which is extremely important
and
at this
stage. The thing is not that they want to make them unemployable, but get the message out. We can do this.
Yeah.
We can. You think a $1,500 fine is bad? That's your first one, and you're suspended for a whole year. Yeah. What team is going to pay you to sit on the bench for a whole year?
Well,
nobody.
And Winchester in chat just said, "Oh no, it was much worse than that. Much worse than anything." So it wasn't that it was bad; it's that it was bad enough so that he's suspended for the rest of the year. I mean, that's 9 months.
No one's going to pay you to do that. No one's going to pay you to sit the bench. So enjoy the rest of the year, and hopefully you'll be able to find another team. But the thing I like, it's not a slap on the wrist; it's a bite on the neck, and that's what that's what needs to be happening.
That was a yes. That was a very strong move from Blizzard, and I think it was needed. So we'll just kind of leave it at that. And if you want to check out, you can look up Urho online and check it out for yourself if you really want to. Yes. So with that happy news, no, it's so as far as we just got in for HGC, we just got out of the Eastern Clash, and they'll be back in action this next week, I think. Right?
Yeah, they're doing some open division stuff currently. Cool.
Okay. I think that's all the sports news that we can handle on this show. Probably. So why don't we wrap this thing up? And but before we do, I want to talk to you guys and figure out what's going on in your next, podcast or stream or whatever, and where people can find you. So, Gizmo, what's going on for Lords of the Storm tomorrow, other than talking about the new hero, right?
Yeah, we'll be talking about the new hero, talking about the PTR changes, discussing possibly what's next. We believe we're going to get another hero announcement here in like 2.5 weeks or so.
Okay.
So kind of just discussing the content release schedule, what our thoughts are currently on that.
Cool.
And diving in.
Awesome.
It'll be tomorrow at 9 p.m. Central at twitch.tv/Lords of the Storm. And you can find myself all over the internet at Gizmozord.
There you go. And Shark, merely a setback. When was your last episode?
We just posted an episode today. We record on Monday nights at 9 o'clock.
What's this one about?
We actually have a lot of fun. We mix it up a little bit. We usually will just kind of talk about a character or a group of characters like the Paladins or the Silver Hand or something like that in a deep dive. We actually went in and did a little analysis on Arthas's storyline this week. So we talked a little bit about thematic elements and got a little bit academic, but we had a lot of fun. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. Professor Sharku's story time was very, very great.
Okay.
But yeah, check that out. We're also on Realm Maintenance this week. Ro did an interview with me and Shoe Boots. Hey! So check out Ro's our episode of Realm Maintenance. We had lots of fun.
Awesome. And of course, you can check out Shark everywhere at Sharku_CTR.
Yep. And there's Setback Podcast.
Setback Podcast. All right.
Yep.
And Thyst, you have a show called Lagging Balls.
Yeah, I do.
And is that one out yet? Is that out yet?
It's coming out tomorrow. It's gonna be really awesome because we're sort of discussing Blizzard's next move as far as what they're going to get into next. We have lots of speculation, lots of inappropriate jokes as usual. So you're into that sort of thing.
You guys never have that.
Yes. Oh no, no.
Right.
But we do though. So that's Lagging Balls, and you can find that anywhere. Just type in Lagging Balls, you'll find all of the things. And you can follow me on Twitter at Thyst03.
Right. If you do that, website search for Lagging Balls, just don't do an image search.
Yeah, don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
All right.
Unless you want to.
And of course, you can find me at Pat Crane with a K. And I do want to encourage everybody to please talk to us. Talk to us all. Talk to all the guys at CTR. Whatever. You can join the Bazuba Guabo Nation by heading over to converttoraid.com. By the way, we probably have some interesting news in the next, week or two. Probably, maybe. We're looking at stuff. We're looking ahead to November. So, yeah, we're looking ahead to November, and we may hear an announcement soonish. TM about that. Hopefully, this is a fingers crossed moment. I don't actually know anything.
Maybe.
I'm just hoping. But anyway, so you can talk to us about that stuff. You can talk to us about whatever. But join us over at converttoraid.com. That's where we have everything now. We have show downloads, Discord info, videos, audio, guild stuff, swag store, Blizzard news, and a lot more. Oh, and we're doing more stuff with that stuff as well. Soon.
More stuff with that stuff?
With Blizzard news. Because I've been talking to some writers for the website. So that'll be cool. That's coming very, very soon. All right. Plus, we also have the Convert to Raid podcast network over at converttoraid.com. And of course, that features shows from these other fellers that did the show with me tonight. And others are regular players of CTR. So, yes, please check that out. Convert to Raid is produced and distributed by Signals Media, and that is going to be it for this show. Thank you, guys, for joining me. Thank you, Twitch chat, as well. Your conversations were both adorable and terrifying. I think that was the word that Gizmo used.
Was it mostly adorable?
It was mostly adorable.
Okay, good.
For the most part.
All right. Thank you, guys. No matter where you listen to us, we really do appreciate it. And that is going to be it for this show. And for all the guys at Convert to Raid, bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.